Hello everyone, this is Setro and I welcome you to Setro Craft channel. Today I'm going to be guiding us on alteration, and the specific alteration we are going to be looking at today, we are going to try to increase the size of an already finished outfit because the customer tends to request that he needed more extension, as in the size of the trouser needs to be extended downward, as the length should be increased. So we are going to increase the length of the trouser. So we'll quickly look at two ways of going about this. Then the body top, which is the buba, and the traditional name for top in Nigeria here. We are going to be looking at how to increase the size of the buba, because it was somehow the customer needed some kind of room so that it will be easy for pulling out. Okay, so with that being said, note that it is easier for you to reduce the size of whatever designs that you've created than increasing the size, because especially when it comes to male design, you know that we male, we do usually we don't add enough allowances on our cut, unlike the female folks, because you know how complex female folks are. You just need to put enough allowance here and there, and you continue to alter it based on the mood of women.
Okay, please do note that for us to effect an increase or extension of the length size of an already sewn out trouser, there are two ways of effecting such correction. But the first part, which happens to be the best part, is from the hem line here, underneath here. You note that when you are hemming the trouser, usually it is expected that you take in part of the fabric inward like so, and as such you are looking at about 2 inches hemline down here at the ankle. Based on the fact that we want to extend the length of this trouser, depending on how short it is for the customer, you might just need to take it out by 1 inch, or you can even take it out to up to about 1 3/4 inch, so that at the end of the day you just hem a little part of the trouser inward, and that solves the challenge. Another means of doing this is to come over here, and you notice that what we have here is elastic at the waist with rope. This is to double ensure that the trouser you've made is what is firm to the waist, and it's not pulling down when they have some gadgets in their pockets, like so. But in a situation whereby is either too short and you need more room for extension, you might just consider, depending on the amount of turn up you have here. Normally in our training we usually advise that the turn up you have here should be about 2 inches, so that when you fold it will be like 1 inch. But in cases that you want to prevent such, maybe when you are sewing, you can create some excess room here, or better still, you just remove the elastic and ensure that it is only the rope, the trouser rope, that is there. By the time you remove the elastic, you can then reduce the extent of this fold. At least that can give you like half an inch or 1 inch extra at the top. So those are the two ways you can actually increase the length of your trouser when it's already sewn. And with that being said, I'll quickly move over to the top, the buba alteration, which happens to be the pivotal point of what we are looking at here. As complex as it sounds, please just take note of this. Let's assume that you're through with the sewing of a buba top, and the customer complains that it's too tight and you need to create more room for extension. This is where you just need to come to. Remember, you need to ask the customer if they are okay with what you have here, with the space amount at the arm, at the sleeve, the round sleeve, if there is no complaint about the round sleeve, if they are okay with this and it's just the side that is the challenge, all you just need to do is to come over to the side seam here. Just come look at it. Like here, what we have here, like what we have here is about 1 inch sewing allowance that we have created here, which to me is beautiful. Then the other side too is also the on both sides you have your on both sides you have your 1 inch allowance here, 1 inch allowance, seam allowance there. So with that means you can actually extend. For example, this customer needs it needs at least up to 1.5 inches kind of extension. So what I can just do is to ensure that the sewing is done in such a way that it extends to the tip of this our M line. And as such, what we are going to have is to say, okay, let's extend our sewing line down to about 3/4. With that 3/4, ultimately, you know that once you have something like this, it becomes more difficult for you to say you want to use your interlocking machine to now do whatever here. So all you can just do is to extend it by 3/4. Once we extend it by 3/4, at least it gives 3/4 space at the side, then the other side also 3/4 space. At the end of the day, you end up with your 1.5 allowance, 1.5 inches allowance. So the angle I find more complex is the angle of losing, and especially when you're sewing, when you've adjusted your machine in such a way that your stitches is a very tiny stitches. If you are sewing with at a very tiny stitch, you might just need to be very careful when you are losing the thread line. So what you might just need to do is to loosen out all these thread lines, all the thread at this part. You lose them up, you open them up, so that by the time you are at this point, you also extend your sewing. So the best way of doing this after loosening it out is just for you to use your chalk. If you are new to fashion, use your chalk to trace out exactly what the parts you want to sew on, and that gives the space for the side and the tummy and the hips line, so that the cloth becomes more comfortable for your customer usage. Then if there is a challenge with the sleeve, with the shoulder point, and the shoulder point needs extension, either because at the point that they want to put on the clothes, it becomes more difficult to pull the clothes, especially when you're working with a zipper design like this or any other design. All you just need to do is to extend your thread lines to either, if you look at this, what we have here is around 1 inch. You can also bring it to like 3/4 inches. So with that, or if it is just 1 inch you want to adjust, what you just need to do is to extend it by half an inch at this side, then half an inch at the other side. So with that, it balanced out in giving you additional 1 inch, which corrects that tug of war in pulling out your buba. So with that being said, enough of all this storyline, let's get to work now. Since I've already explained it, I'll just be showing you how to go about it, because this is a 100% practical class. Okay, so at this point I'll just start with turning the trouser inside out. So with that, I can easily access the